What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Bunch of guys in the room. I'm Conrad.
I'm Lauren.
No, you're exploring.
With Lauren.
There's no Lauren here.
It's like Dora the Explorer, but on Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It's Eduardo's favorite show, and I'm not going to have you bad-mouthing her.
Shut up.
She taught him all about the color red.
What is with you and Foster's Home? You were talking about it last episode, and we took like a 15-minute break while you looked up ways to kill fucking
You mean recalled all of my old skill.
Gwyn, and I took a pee. And now you're back to Foster's Home.
Maybe it was a good show.
It was a good show, but it doesn't mean you gotta talk about it all the time.
I'll have
constantly
you
reminding me of how terrible of a person I am.
Oh, God. Know that. I'll have you know.
Let's try that again, buddy.
Whoa. We should up this with our superpowers.
Okay.
Because I read that was good in a magazine. Game Informer, probably.
What?
It was the internet.
Shut off. 10 seconds in.
Nope. 10 seconds of nothing. The game just started and we're already beating it, Conrad.
Shut. And
Perfect 4-second run. All 125 stars.
There's no stars in this game at all.
We'll go see Yoshi on the roof of the castle up there.
Not
He'll give us infinite lives.
not a thing.
Max us out, and then fly off into the distance and explode.
Now you're naming things that far better YouTubers than we have done.
I think Yoshi's the one who did it. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure it's
Someone
PBG.
else just observed it.
It was PBG who glitched his game to do it. So
Have
this
you been
whole,
watching the Chaos Edition?
Huh?
Have you been watching the Chaos?
I only just found out about it, and I went back and watched.
Got him.
All right. See you, buddy. Good time.
My
good talk.
God, that was a long fall. Didn't think
like-
we were ever going to see him.
When you were going down to fight the Hydra off camera, the frogs would like fall past us, and one frog in particular fell past us forever, and just nothing. And then there was this like sickening thud, and then we got souls like 20 seconds after the thud. So it was, one, a very long fall, and two, quite hilarious. But no, I have not. I've not been religiously watching the Chaos Edition, though I want to.
It's pretty good.
Well, PBG is good. He's fucking amazing. He's much greater at things than we are. But
He's got a really high patience for it. Which
Chaos Edition?
I think you have to.
oh god, yeah, dude. I would have fucking given up ages ago. Like I was watching. Which one was it? The Fire Panic, or the I think it was called Lava Panic or whatever. Whatever that flame level is.
Lethal Lava Land.
There you go, Lethal Lava Land. Where he was trying to kick all those bullies off the platform.
Oh my God.
Just getting over there. Like I never knew that those assets could like lift off the ground and fucking assault you. Yeah. This will be the hill for now. Worked kind of well. Gwyn.
He's so fierce.
Yeah, but then this piano music is like super, it's super soft.
Internet lied to me. Told me he wouldn't give me time to do that.
Well, I mean, normally you wouldn't. If it wasn't for the fact that we're just kind of giffing them out around this fucking little... Oh. Yeah!
I can't believe we
Made it.
lived. Whisper, no! You're the biggest Dark Souls boss in the world.
Whisper, you whore! Can you get a sword?
I think so.
What if it's always flaming like that? I can only assume it would kill the game in places like Blighttown. Wow, this is amazingly good. Woof.
Ooh. No,
It
sir.
wouldn't have killed us, but it still would have been annoying. Boom! Alright, well, don't get penisy, kid, because we still got a long ways to go.
Whisper! I just socked my cat in the eye. I'm sorry. If any of you heard the gentle foof of fur, I'm sorry you had to hear such violence on this channel.
Shit.
Quit!
Gwyn, stop it!
Quit it! Come on, Dad. Get your shit together.
Cut it out, Gwyn!
Dad. Quit huffing paint with the boys.
Well, Gwyn is officially a very sad boss now. Wow! Holy jeez.
No.
Yep, there we go.
We are done.
That
Dark
was
Souls
6
is
minutes!
beaten.
That was 6 minutes!
Well, here, we can spend the other, rest of the minutes of this episode doing stuff that we didn't get to do in the rest of the game. Read things. Let's read our inventory.
No, shut up. Go grab your souls back and then finish it.
What?
So-
Souls back.
Yeah, we haven't recovered
Here,
our souls.
well, we can deliberate on whether we should leave or light the fire.
Okay, well, I say light the fire because Dick Butt's a good guy.
Well, and I say leave because I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, but we already know. I mean, if there's not going to be like a cutscene or anything.
It will. There's a cutscene for both sides. There's a small motion, a string of things that happen in the game when you go to either side.
Well, I mean.
So, here. We did just bitch out Gwyn. We were not honorable. This rock was our best friend. We're going to name this rock Artorias. Artorias helped us restore balance.
All right, but we did. No, you know what? Now that I think about it, we murdered the friar, and the only thing we ever did to repent for that was save that thief. So I guess in the end, we are kind of just assholes.
Yeah, we're definitely a hero. I don't know if we're the hero Gotham deserves. We could just toxin ourselves out and die here. The game's gonna be super fucking confused.
I don't know. Lighting.
Look, we have a Chaos Flame Ember, but we can't even use it.
Wait a second. No, the canon thing to do would be to walk out, to leave,
Yeah.
because that's how Dark Souls 2 can happen, is by leaving.
So, let's do it.
All right, yeah. Fuck it. Fuck the world. Everything's ruined. Darkness can come back. Dragons can come back. Nobody gives a shit.
Dude, there's so many Buscemi's.
What?
We are the Lord. We are the Jackie.
Well,
Glad our Uggs were shown in super high glitchy def.
you mean when the camera went into our Uggs? Well,
We're gonna bring back. We are now the Lord of Darkness. We are the Dark Lord.
all right.
Player 2 got it. Who the fuck's player 1? Who knows?
So, the rating system is out of Cosby's. So, how many Cosby's out of Cosby do we give this?
A whole sweater.
100% sweater? All right.
100% Cosby sweater.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, you
Just a fucking colorful mess.
you've watched us play this. It's, I don't know, like, from what I've heard, Miyazaki says the reason that it's so difficult is not because the idea of the game was to be difficult, but the idea of the game was to engross you in the world. So the difficulty here was not somebody like, how do we bitch people out? I know. We'll put a single copper demon in a room and 2 poison dogs.
How do we cat Mario them?
The idea here was to make it so that you felt like you were really part of it. The struggles were real struggles, and the triumphs were true triumphs. And if you want proof of that, go back and watch the Four Kings fight.
Watch us beat Seath like 2 episodes ago.
Any of the bosses that gave us any fucking trouble when we beat
like
them.
any boss, even like the ones that don't give us trouble, I have a set, like, because that means, okay, though this is my second playthrough, so it's a bit different. Like, when I first got here, I died to every boss at least once, and it's definitely a different when you're playing it for the first time, because now you're playing bosses you've never seen, the whole world's new. And when you go back, I didn't see all of the game first, so there's still new things to see.
As example, when we went down into the pit and fought the Hydra for the first time.
Yeah, and like the add-on also added something new that I hadn't seen. But going back to the old bosses, I felt myself had improved, even though this is a completely different playthrough of since the other one, because I beat it with Durfer, the Great Knight.
Yeah, but Durfer plays the same.
Yeah, it is the same character. We even ended with the same set. About the same level, too. It was about a replay.
My thing about this game is that I feel like the atmosphere of it is it's super intense. Everything around you feels like it was once great and is now dying. Like, it really has this sort of deteriorating feel to it.
Yeah.
And the further into the game you get, the more you can see the world around you deteriorating and falling apart. And for me, that is a huge thing. That's why I didn't like the idea of Silent Hill Downpour being called a Silent Hill game. Because for me, it just didn't have that Silent Hill kind of atmosphere. It didn't have this intense horror theme going for it. It was like, yeah, things are weird here. Look at that lady. She's got spikes through her hands. But this game wasn't like, spiky hand ladies. This game was like, this is a statue with a fucking ball. It's like a Weeble. It wobbles, but it doesn't fall down, and it breathes fire.
Look at this Heracross Pokemon. We've combined it with a Wrecking Ball.
Hey, check out this fucking octopus. It has too many eyes and curse pukes out of you from its arm mouths. And that's cool. There's only, there's 2 of those in the whole game.
There's only like 2 or 3 in the whole game, yeah.
Yeah, it's just shit like that.
And if they eat you, they like just wrecks your armor. They're like the things from Zelda.
Yeah, likes.
Yeah.
They steal your shield.
Fucking douches.
But it's just, there's so much to this game, and it feels so real while you're going through it. Everything is, you of course have to be like, magic is real, but once you get past the whole magic is real thing,
if you're into fantasy, it's very nice.
Yeah, it's super well designed, and nothing really trips you up too much either.
Yeah.
Dragons are consistently weak against lightning. Plants are consistently weak against, everything's pretty consistently weak against fire.
Gwyn is weak against fire, the final boss there.
Yeah,
even though his attacks are fire-based, he's weak to fire.
I mean, he's still undead, so...
Yeah, and so, like, though he wields it, he is not its master.
And you know what? Even thinking about it like that, it's really kind of thematic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because at one point he was Lord of Fire, but now he's not. He's not the Fire Lord anymore. He's no longer Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. He's a hollowed version of what he once was. Plus the music.
Yeah, the music is really nice. And, like, I think there's a certain charm to, like, how polishedly unpolished the game is. Like, there's certain parts where, like, yeah, the ground noting's a bit off. Yeah, but think about Butter, slide off the cliff. You walk into a body and it fucking loses all weight and clips into your body. But, like, to me, that's just, like, a peak of joy in a very, like, aggravating game. And I don't mean aggravating in a bad way. It's just, it poses a challenge, and it's good to have lighthearted moments in between of you, like, mopping up a few enemies, grinding a soul or two, taking a break, and putting some guys through the blender.
I don't know, everything about this game just kind of appeals to me. I'm really big into fantasy games, and I'm really big into games that give you a sense of progression. And for me, I don't think I've played too many games that can give you much of a better sense of progression than, this.
Yeah.
This right here, this is where you start off. Talk about humble fucking beginnings. You start the game off in a goddamn pit. And, like, the first person who helps you out, who's about to help you out in 10 seconds here...
Like you saw before, and seeing again.
He's the dude, and he's the guy you meet later on. He's the one who got crashed through the wall by the boulder.
Yeah.
So, like, to give you an idea of progression, this guy, who's, right about there. Dude who just tossed that undead asshole down to you, him... you'll have to look up to him. You have no choice. He's the dude who fucking saves you. And then you meet him dead. And, he dies to a trap that you inevitably will overcome. So already you have this idea of you're better than him. The whole game just kind of puts you into those situations.
Yeah.
You know, the crazy dude at Firelink Shrine, where if you try to fight him when you first show up, he'll just wreck your day. Or Big Hat Logan. Big Hat Logan is another one where if you try to fight, you meet him like 8 times throughout the game, and each time you meet him, he's a little more hollowed than he was before, until the end, when you have to fight him as a full hollow, and you beat him. Which, when you first meet Big Hat Logan, if you were like, I'm gonna fight you, Big Hat Logan, he'd wreck your face. Yeah, there's that demon. He's gonna suck to fight again.
But I'm not going to play through this whole game again because while on the list of games I've played in my lifetime, which is a lot, Conrad knows, it's the whole pile over here. Like, you can't see it, but there's like at least 100 games over there, would you say?
I wouldn't say 100, but in that pile, there are at least 40.
Yeah.
In this household, there's probably in the area of 100.
I would say closer to 200 if you're counting like all the old systems too.
No, that's what I am counting.
Yeah.
I don't know, 200 seems like hefty.
Well, there's 2 rows of PS2 games up there. Like, stack, and then a stack in front of that. There's an entire stack of GameCube games over there. That chest back there is full of GameCube games.
Yeah,
the drawer down there is full of Nintendo 64
when I look
games.
at, like,
that whole drawer is Super Nintendo games.
When I look at 200, it's like from that corner of your closet to over there where the TV stand starts, a shelf completely full. That's what I counted when I saw 200. And there are definitely not enough discs here to fill that many spaces.
I would say there is. But anyways, the point is, I've played a lot of games. And so it's hard. It's not hard to get a game that I like, but it's hard to get a game that I'm going to like remember for the rest of my life. And while there seems to be one in every console, and it may not be the best game you guys think is like the greatest thing ever, but this is definitely a game that this is something I'd rate very high, like almost masterpiece levels of gaming.
If I wanted to put something like that to it, there are not a lot of games I want to go back to. Like, I have beaten many games. I'm 24 years old and I've been gaming since I was 10. So there's a decent fucking stretch of time in there where I was playing video games. And I have beaten the grand majority of those games that I have played. It's a thing. I love doing it. I love video games. I love the world they build. But lately, the worlds that games have been building are just so drab. So, nothing. There's nothing to them. There's no lore. There's no story. There's nothing. But this game, everything in it has a story in some way. From this piece of shit right here, who, whatever, just whiffed him out. No big deal. To Lord of Cinder, to, the tree, Bed of Chaos, whatever. Everything gives you something, and it gives you a reason to know about that something. There's a world here, and whether or not you know about the world, it's completely up to you. You can just run through the game, murder everything to death, and not think twice about it. You don't have to. It's not a requirement. But I digress. It's a good game, and it's also beaten.
And another good game, like, recently we've been playing, is XCOM. And, like, those are 2 completely different genres, which shows, like, you don't need to make a certain type of game for it to be a great game.
So glad you just, like...
Oh, I launched Leon across the room. Okay, everybody, Leon is... I don't know if we've ever deliberated. Whisper is the oldest, and Leon is the youngest. And they're about equally annoying when we're playing and recording. Except Leon, I feel no qualm about tossing across my room because he's spry and young. He'll get back. Conrad just checked his arm for a spider again. I double checked.
No, it hurts a little bit, and I'm like, what's going on with this? Hair or something? I don't know. But yeah, I've beaten, and admittedly I beat it in like the exact opposite way Austin beat it. Austin never dodged and barely used spells, and I exclusively dodged and always used spells, so there's obviously some difference in playstyle here, but I've beaten this game, and it was good, and I liked it. And, when watching Austin play, I'm like, God damn, I really want to play this game again, because it's still good, and I still like it. Even when watching Austin put somebody through the blender and fucking fall off the map.
Hey, listen.
This game also gives you New Game Plus, which is something that I personally love.
I like that it's an option to go back and for it to be more difficult. And I like that this one goes all the way to New Game Plus 10. So if you're like a serious Dark Souls fan, there's a lot for you here. And the game is a little different each time. Nah.
Alright, peace. Because you're gonna go hollow. Nobody wanted that.
I actually need your key, that's why.
Yeah, so...
But,
Yep.
yeah, it's a very special case and a gem on whatever console. Dark Souls 2 is very much like the Portal syndrome, where, like, it's still good, but there's points.
No,
and-
Dark Souls 2 is Portal Syndrome in the fact that Dark Souls 1, or Demon Souls, was hard. It was notoriously hard. And Dark Souls did not decrease that difficulty. It altered the difficulty. It's not difficult in the same way. Whereas Demon Souls had easier levels to traverse and hard as fuck bosses, and Dark Souls has hard as fuck levels to traverse and easier bosses. But in the end, you know, it's the same thing. More or less. There's even some areas that get carried over. But Dark Souls 2 really knew about its success. The predecessor, Dark Souls, was like, yes, we're the best. Look at how hard we are. It's so good. And, like, that's not what the game designer wanted, but that's what so many people took out of it. And then Dark Souls 2 was like, oh, you like difficulty, eh? How about we put a bunch of Frankenstein monsters in this waterway with exploding mummies and archers?
Well, I also think it's like a change in director really matters too, because like the director wasn't the one who originally of Dark Souls 2. Wasn't
Yeah, it wasn't Miyazaki. He didn't
and
return.
it's hard to get what the original director wanted out of each, like, because obviously he wanted something out of the two games. He had a certain goal in mind. And the director who came in knows what the fans want. And the fans wanted a hard game that they can play and grind and PvP. And they really did up the PvP, they upped the difficulty, and they gave it what the fans wanted, but it wasn't as good because...
Well, no, what they did was give the fans PvP. And then they they did what I hate, which is make a game, say, yeah, this game's great to fight your friends with. And then when it comes time to fight the bosses, they're like, oh shit, this is just like a spider. What do we do? Give the spider a fucking laser beam and put 80 other spiders in the arena. That'll make it hard. I mean, kind of. It's a little bit more difficult than not, but at the same time, it's not like... It's not difficult in the way I want it. It's not cool and difficult. It's just a fucking spider. It shoots a laser beam sometimes. It's a pain in the ass. Its moveset isn't hard to get down. It's not necessarily hard to dodge. It's just that these other fucking spiders will lock you down, and then that thing will laser beam you to death. You don't get a choice with it. It just happens.
You see, I actually didn't have too much problem with that boss.
Yeah, well, it's because you fucking can take a couple of hits and deal out damage like a motherfucker. I only just got to that boss because I realized that spending souls on levels is the wrong thing to do. Which is another thing, because in this game, like... In this game, you spend your souls on levels a lot more than you spend it on weapons. It's leveling early game and weaponsmithing late game. And Dark Souls 2 is very much weaponsmithing early game and late game, and levels don't really matter as much. Why are you killing Friar Bob again?
Well, I'm not gonna come back to this account.
But, I mean, that for me is... There's a lot of changes that they made to Dark Souls 2. Obviously, I'm sure I've said it before and I'll say it again. The addition of magic weapons having fucking durability drained just by using them to cast spells irks me to no end. getting one fucking staff up to the high enough level to be able to, actually use it in battle is annoying enough. Not hard, just annoying. And then having to get a second staff to get it up to the same level as that staff so I can still use it after the first one almost breaks. It's just adding tedium to something that was fine before. And you can say that's like a director thing, but I highly doubt the director came in.
Well, I heard that magic was a bit unbalanced in PvP on this one.
Well, yeah, sure, it might have been. But at the same time, there's other things you could do for that. You could have it so that blocking stops more magic damage. Done. All shields have better magic resistance. I solved the problem.
Well,
is weapon durability really the thing that makes WAP magic more of a balanced object?
Well, because I'm assuming it's not the damage, it's the ability to just keep casting and keep casting. So in like a battle of attrition, you'll end up...
But they already solved that with the stamina thing, where casting costs stamina. If that's the reason they did the stamina thing, fine. I personally don't agree with it because that's really the way you beat bosses, is by just throwing spells at them until they die. And I'd rather not have to decide on throwing a single spell and then waiting for the next one to happen. There's a guy, Matthew Matomas, I think. I'll put a link to him in the description. But he says it really well that Dark Souls 2, it's a grind fest. Bosses aren't necessarily more difficult. They're just obnoxiously long on account of... Oh, yes.
I'm licorice.
They're longer, and they're harder to get through, not because the boss itself is harder to destroy, but because they have so many chains with no downtime in between. There's not like a stamina bar for enemy bosses, so when when it comes time to... Oh. Stabbed you in the dick.
Yep.
When it comes time to fight a boss, you just, you sit there and you swing at him twice, and then you gotta wait around for it to come back, and, your stamina to regen. You want to get the boss over quicker because it takes so fucking long to beat them, but it doesn't matter. You have to just swing once and then wait for him to give you that one opening once every 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, Dark Souls 2 is a different beast for a different time. Oh, yeah, we beat it.
Hey, Austin. You wanna jerk each other off?
Absolutely flawless.
Ow, my cheeks.